Good day, fellow Deltans. Once again, my name is Kawariebie Kennedy Pela, simply known as Ken Pela or KKP. And it's a pleasure to come to you once again with my plan for a better Delta. This time I'll try and go slow and go through all the points so that people understand exactly what I'm saying. The vision is to build a better Delta where righteousness, harmony, and prosperity reigns. And this vision is deeply rooted in the vision of His Excellency Peter Obi to take Nigeria from consumption to production, and deeply rooted in working towards ensuring that Delta State meets most of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals prescribed by the United Nations. Now, the basic thing is for us to start with a foundation. We've identified that one of the biggest problems in Delta is the lack of transparency, impunity that exists in government, lack of fairness, equity, and justice. So the first thing we intend to do is to enthrone righteousness. The first step for us will be to solve what we believe is one of the biggest problems in Delta, which is that of the lack of righteousness. Lack of righteousness here simply means doing the right thing. Righteousness in governance in terms of accountability and integrity, in terms of transparency in government, in terms of eliminating waste and corruption, in terms of the values of our people. We grew up in a Delta, in the old Bendel, where being rich, being successful was a result of hard work, was a result of commerce and industry. In recent years, over the last 24 years, being successful, being rich is a result of either being in government or doing something shady. We also intend to ensure mass participation of our people in government. Now, we believe that when we are able to enthrone righteousness, lay that foundation for a better Delta, we would be able to create harmony. Now, harmony here is peace and security, lack of strife among the people, all right? And we will enable this, and we'll make sure this happens by putting in place very well-equipped state and community police to ensure that we have peace and harmony in the land. Now, when you have righteousness and we have created harmony, that gives us an environment where prosperity can thrive. Now, what is prosperity without certain things? People talk about roads. People talk about good health. People talk about good education. Those are the rights of our citizens. So I'm not going to promise you. I'm not going to come and tell you what others will tell you. I will assure you, Deltans, that you will have the best health care through a participatory health insurance scheme. You will have the best of education. We will ensure that education is affordable. We will ensure that our primary schools are well equipped and our children go to school in a good environment. We will ensure that our secondary schools are also well equipped and will have very well equipped tertiary institutions. We will also ensure that we have the best of infrastructure. So in terms of infrastructure, we'll ensure that every single part of Delta, at the end of our tenure, every single part of Delta will be accessible by good roads. Now, more importantly, the quality of life that we live, that our people will live, that Deltans will live, is proportionate to the development of the individuals. And so, we intend to engender prosperity in the land. We intend to force the process of prosperity in the land so that the people, our people, can have a better life. Now, what we have, the plan we have to do that are 8 key prosperity drivers. The first is that we will pay a living wage. Now, what I mean by living wage is simply that the fact that as it is today, minimum wage is 30,000 naira a month, which averages 1,000 naira a day. Now, the individual is expected to from there pay transport, to and fro work. Is expected to also feed from there. Is expected to have paid house rent from there. And for those who have children, is also expected to pay their fees from there. Little wonder we have the kind of corruption we have in the land, because people will just have to cut corners to make ends meet. So we expect to progressively increase minimum wage to 100,000 naira a month, so that people will be able to take care of themselves, take care of their families, and also will have some disposable income that will trickle down into the economy. The second prosperity driver is fiscal autonomy for our local governments. As it is today, we have toll gates on the part of the funds allocated to our local government. Now, to give a simple example, if a local government is supposed to receive 100 million naira a month, in a lot of cases, they receive a lot less than that, because at the state level, funds are taken from there. Maybe 50 million naira is taken from it, and then the local government chairman receives 50 million naira. And then he will then say, oh, it's my turn to take another 30 million naira from them. Maybe what gets to the local government is just 20, or in a lot of cases, what they call zero allocation. Now, those funds are invariably not spent in the local government to enhance the local economy. Invariably, they are converted into dollars, or they are spent in other places. So we're going to ensure fiscal autonomy of the local government, such that the full 100% of the funds that should come to the local government will come to the local government and will be spent in that economy. We'll improve the quality of people that run those local governments, so that they can be held accountable by the people, because we'll publish the funds that come to the local government, and the local government will be used as development drivers to drive the economy of the state through the 25 local governments of the state. The third prosperity driver, closely related to the second, is that of a local government-based social investment scheme, 120 billion naira over a period of 4 years. Now, under this scheme, we will provide non-interest bearing loans, 1 million naira each, to 100 people in each of the 25 local governments of Delta State every month. Non-interest bearing loans payable over 4 years, which will amount to 250,000 naira a month, 750 naira per day. This will be primarily to women and to youths that have plans to set up businesses or to expand their existing businesses. We'll put in place a transparent scheme supervised by bankers that will ensure that people with bankable projects get those loans. And this, we believe, will drive the economy of our state, because usually 60 to 70% of every economy is driven by the small and medium scale enterprises. The fourth prosperity driver is that of power and gas utilization. As it is today, over 40% of Nigeria's gas resources are in Delta State, and majority of those resources are flared, further compounding climate problem of the state and the nation. Now, we intend to work with other private sector players and the oil companies to put in place industries that utilize those gases. Industries that utilize natural gas. So gas to liquid plants, we will put in place those kinds of industries, so that the amount of gas flaring we are doing will reduce significantly. But more importantly, we will utilize the gas in the various locations where they are, to put in place 24-hour power in Delta State through the concept of distributed generation. Now, one of the biggest problems to achieving 24-hour power in Nigeria is, number one, the huge cost of the kind of power plants we try to build, in addition to the kind of time it takes to put those kind of power plants on stream. The second one is transmission. Our transmission infrastructure is not very good. So even when we improve generation, the process of transmitting is not one that can easily carry the power generated. So through the concept of distributed generation, we'll ensure that in various parts of Delta, we put in place very quickly small power plants, 1 megawatt, 2 megawatts, that can be scalable to up to 10 megawatts in cases, and ensure that we have 24-hour power across Delta. The fifth prosperity driver is that we will develop, through private sector participation, 10 new cities across Delta during the life of our administration. Now, why would we want to do 10 new cities? I've been asked the question, what happened to the old cities that we have? Delta State has become one huge slum. There's no master plan, and we have cities growing into each other without any planned development. We have roads that do not have proper drainage. We have roads that do not have provision for the right kind of infrastructure, and so on. So what we intend to do is use those model cities, and that part of where power, 24-hour power, will start. So we'll have 24-hour power, we would have well-planned cities with good roads, the roads will have provision for telecoms, will have provision for drainage, will have provision for central sewage, we'll have provision for everything that is required for people to just come and build their houses, to build skyscrapers and those kinds of development. We'll have tourist destinations, so each of those cities will have one form of destination that people will want to go to. Each of those cities, one will be based in each of the federal constituencies across Delta. Each one will have industries that are based on the factor endowment of the area. For those that have factor endowment in terms of agriculture, we'll have agric farmlands and agric extension programs to ensure that farmers do well and live well. They will have IT parks, they will have IT hubs, they will have SME parks to enable people, the people that were given the kind of loans that we're talking about, to be able to start businesses seamlessly and easily. This plan will drive the prosperity of a Delta, because by the time you put those 10 cities together, you can then start the process of a planned development that will begin to grow together, and then we'll have one huge metropolitan state. And by the time people begin to move out of the slums that we have today, we can then begin to regenerate those cities. These 10 new cities will all be interconnected, properly interconnected by multimodal transport. Very good roads, affordable water transportation where applicable, and light rail to ensure that our people are able to move from place to place without problems. The sixth is social housing. We will provide in each of those cities social housing in partnership with private sector, in partnership with the real estate developers. Housing that is relatively affordable and that will be provided to people through the instrumentality of mortgage financing, so that the new middle class that will be creating, the new millionaires that will be creating, will be able to own their own homes and pay over a period of time. The seventh prosperity driver will be reviving our moribund industries. We have Delta Glass, we have DSC, we have a refinery, we have a petrochemical plant. These are all industries that have been dead for a while. We'll work with the owners, where it's the federal government, where it's private sector individuals for industries that have been privatized. We will work with them and find solutions to why those industries are currently comatose and moribund, and ensure that they begin to work and provide jobs for our teeming youths and our population. And the final thing is that by this time we believe that the economy of Delta State would have exploded. We will need to begin to bring things in and take things out. And we will then revive our seaports. Warri, Saple, Koko, and Burutu, the deep seaports. We will revive them, and Delta will be one huge economy that is booming. Deltans, this is my plan. This is our plan to build a better Delta where righteousness, harmony, and prosperity reigns. I believe that having shared this vision with you severally, I believe that you will have caught the vision. You would understand what I mean. We need to create a foundation of righteousness. We need to build an environment of peace and harmony. And then we need to then engender the prosperity of our people. That is how we'll create a better life, a better Delta for us all. Deltans, I come to you today with a heart, a commitment to Deltans, to do this with Deltans. I need your support to do this. The power is in your hands. I'm confident that you have caught the vision. I'm not doing this just because I want to do it. I'm doing this on behalf of Deltans. I am running for governor on behalf of Deltans. Deltans who have caught the vision are running for governor through me. This can only be done with your power, with your votes. It is time to move away from visionless leadership to visionary leadership. Thank you. God bless you.